Morning on this well, in England this is summer. It's pissing down, but yeah, for anyone else it will. It's a miserable Saturday morning. Oh, I slept like crap last night. I figured the issue out with the camera. I turned my low light off and there was some brightness down, because the last thing I was filming with it was something obviously really bright. So my bad for that last video if it was a little dark. However, you didn't miss much as far as this truck went if it didn't come out in the video. So again, apologies for that. But here with the Verkerk Volvo yesterday, as you can see, there is just these couple of arches here, which just tuck behind the front wheels under the back of the cab, and those are what I am going to be leaving black, and the rest is going to be needing paint. So yesterday I've got all bits and bats out for next stages, so I've got a brewer here now, so I'm just going to go through this manual and have my coffee and find other little bits and bats, and then I can just mark that out the manual with a pencil, and yeah, that way I can move on with stuff that doesn't require paint and bits and bobs like that, or it ain't going to be trapped behind something else that needs to go there beforehand or what have you. So I'm just going to wake up with this coffee, have a little read through this manual, and then I'll see what else we can get done with this. Because like I say yesterday, a lot of it's down to like paint stages now. This is my difficult choice because I always want like a nice blue or metallic blue paint, and I want to try and steer away from the blues, which I'm doing with my SCX-103 as well. It's a nightmare trying to think of colours, so I might do something fun with that. I've got plans for that one, and no, it's not blue, but it is fun. But this, really I haven't got a clue. My original intention was blue. But yeah, and think about that when we get to it. I'll see what Halford says. I'll go and have a look at some of their colours later maybe. I'll see what they're saying. So I'll check back with you guys very shortly. Yesterday, that's the little stage I did. Just gluing those two arch bits, which I just showed you. Like I said, these bits is completing the rest of the rear arch, installing like the light bits and stuff and some light lenses to then put that here. Do I paint the arches or do I leave them black? Sometimes they look better black. Now for me, this truck ain't going to get run. It is only going to be a display model, because the last thing I want is to be running it round the club and some come and take the side of it with their truck and annihilate it to a million pieces, because it'll be just ruined forever. So it is only going to be a display truck for me, this one. It might maybe get a little run every now and again, once every blue moon, or I don't know. Maybe not, maybe we'll see. So yeah, next bits after that is then the skirts, which also I need to paint. So if we move our way down a little bit more, we can stick these rubber bungs here on the cab clip. We can do that, and looking like this point we can move up to 40A, which is gluing like the exhaust air tank thing or whatever it's a part of. The cab locker, And I'm presuming that's going to be in there black or silver or something. Probably would look nice painted silver if it's not silver already, but we'll see. I'll have to study a few Volvo trucks as well, I guess. Look how they're laid out, how they're set up. Interior plate, that ain't going to make no difference. So looking at it, we could probably drop that in there as well. And get some clips for the motor wires, just so there's wires on there should I ever want to run it. But I can't see there being anything stopping me getting underneath there to put wires in, because I also have left the servo part out as well. I say it's just going to be a static model. It's a plastic truck. What have we got here? Coming up to the bumper, sorting the lenses out for the bumper. Right, I tell you what we'll do for this video then, chaps and ladies. We'll get this tank constructed up. We'll get these little rubber bungy things done, and we'll probably get this floor plan put in, and then I best get my ass to Alfred's or something and start thinking of some paint. Right, so moving on, jump into 39B. It's quite a skip through manual, but doesn't matter because bits can go on later. Like I say, they need painting. So what we need now are these two little like rubbery airbag thingies, and on your cab locker, you're just gonna put one over there like so, and the second one onto there like so. So now your cab or something fitted within the cab have something a bit cushy to fall onto there. Oh well, that's handy, because the all of 40A is all on one tree. So I'll snip them off, get them all smoothed out and roughed up on the edges, ready for a bit of glue, and we'll glue those. Right, I've just started gluing all these little bits and bobs. That one's drying, and then we've got this one to put together, and then it'll all fit into this. So while I was doing this, I've just had a brainwave on a colour, so I am going to fly to Halfords now and get that paint. So I'll be back shortly. So that was a quick Halfords run done. So I got one large grey primer, one large clear lacquer, and for this bit I got two cans of Not Telling You. But I have decided that I won't be painting the arches, so they can stay black and we can proceed with that bit on there and the other little bits. Everything's all out here ready to go. So yeah, it's just the arches at the moment then to leave, and I'm going to have a sift through my paint box later on, and I'm going to paint up the little brake calipers silver and the disc light silver, the brake calipers red and stuff. Just detail up little bits where I can. But yeah, apart from that, it's looking like the build is more go now. So happy days. Oh, and before I proceed, Dave, I know you're watching, and I know you know what colour I've gone with. So shh, por favor, muchas gracias. So scooting back a smidge through the manual, I think it's only a page. Yeah. It's literally, we're just back to the rear arches, which, because of the colour that I all of a sudden decided upon, I'm happy to leave them black because it breaks it up. So I don't think there is anything that requires painting on there. Nope. So I'll just show you building up one of them, and then the others exactly the same. So it's just slightly back to front in it, left and right, and then we'll get that fitted around here somewhere. And obviously on the other side. Wow, really is coming together. This mine had little bits of crap around it, but yeah. Right, let's crack on. So first thing first with these arches is these tiny little like brackets want to bolt into here. Now there's like a hole cut out of the side, and they go with actually that flat lip with the hole in down, and they're then gonna just slide into there like so. Like I say, with that flat lip down, and then there is a part marked out there where we're going to put a nut and bolt, and actually nut and bolt that to there. So I'm going to go now and do up both of them with the little nuts and bolts. Yep, these tiny microscopic honey, I shrunk the kids' nuts and bolts. And then after that it's put in the light lenses to the other part of the arches. So just to bear in mind, there is a rear and a front part to the rear arch, and there are also two of these to the arches, one for each. That's the one I just showed you up against the front part of the arch, but the one with the flat lip there, as you can see the little groove on the end, that one's going to slot into the rear part of the arch. Now it is slightly different in length. Sorry, I'm going to get that there. To the bottom one, it's slightly longer. And for the front part of the arch, you will be using that one, which kind of has like a block to it there rather than a flat lip. But if you look, they are slightly different lengths also, only just. So just bear in mind when that coming to that, sorry, if you do have one of these builds to do, or you are on with one of these builds, just make sure to check and double check, and then maybe even triple check, because it's like designed to catch you out. And also, if you love like the tiny little puzzles where you have to chase a little ball around a maze and drop it into a little hole and things like that, then you will love this build. So there's the front. If you can quite get that. And there's the rear. I'll repeat the same for the other side now. Right, so the easiest way to do these fiddly little nuts and bolts, rather than like put the rod in and then try and nut and bolt it, is put the nut and bolt in first, and then thread that through the hole that it comes through. One moment. So it goes through there like so, and then we want to just pop that onto there and then tighten that up. Voila. So now all them are in, we can start fitting the lenses. The rear arches and the light lenses, there's one. Now there's no mention of glue or out. It says it all clicks together. The little white lens clicked into there, but I don't really want to use glue on there yet. I'll probably use a PVA glue because it doesn't fog. So first off, you're just going to want to nut and bolt that to there, and that drops inside there, followed by that light on top, and then it looks like that, but with glue. And these look like they hold on. These like rubber grommet type things. Those are definitely going to need a little bit of glue. So for now, I'm going to pop them in a little bag, and I'll do that like towards the end of the build. So on the inner part of the rear arch, you are going to have to just maybe trim that end off a bit. Otherwise, the holes on like the mudguard don't line up accordingly to those. It sticks out. So there's obviously somewhere in there, i.e. that cross member, and it's just preventing it from going in the hallway. So you are going to have to trim a few mil off that to get that to fit flush. So now that's sitting flush, we want to take these like little rubber grommet clip type things and just pop them in the top of the arches. Different sizes, one for one side and another style for the other. Now it doesn't say these should be glued in, so I've just left them loose at the moment, and then I'm guessing those will like hook into there somehow. Yeah, I see. That's that one. And then yeah. So I like the idea of the rubber clips, but at the moment they don't seem very efficient. But for a static model, I'm not going to be running it, so they're not going to fall off. I presume I am going to need just a dollop of glue here and here just to like hold that bit in, which then they might sit a lot more stronger. So I'll get the other side of that done now, and then that is more of it complete. So there it is now with the rear arches. Now I'm unsure whether they do need gluing in. They ain't going to sit on while running around, I know that. But as I say, luckily it's a display model. So there was this tank bit here that I just need to finish gluing. So I'll finish that bit off now, and then we'll call that a day for that video, because my next stages are paint and the Susie mount that goes here. I think I want that silver, so that's the next point, and I don't really want to do that yet until it's painted. So as a static model, what a beautiful kit, but for practicality, for driving it around, no thank you. That's the arches done, and managed to get all this bit glued up. Now I am going to look at some Volvo pics, because I don't know whether this may want painting up. But for now, that's even more progression done on the Volvo. Even more progression done on the Volvo. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you're not already subscribed, do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Do feel free to like and comment, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Ciao for now, guys.